What's up guys, my name is Ace, and welcome back to Maps Exposed. This is the series where I share all of the lines of sight, as well as any other secret spots that I know of on every map in CoD WW2. In today's episode, we're going to be covering the first of the DLC 2 maps, and this is V2. So first up, let's start it off on the B flag for domination. Just a couple little capture spots I wanted to share with you. If you are trying to capture this B flag, it can be very difficult to capture because people can shoot you from above, and they can also enter this room from 3 different areas here, as well as the ladder down below. There's just so many different places that you can die to as you're trying to capture this. Couple different capture spots. First off, I really like using this capture spot. It's not really all that expected, and usually people aren't looking there first. Another alternative is jumping up here like this, and like if the enemies are coming from that direction, come on this side. If they're coming from the other direction, then you'll probably want to come up onto this side right here. And finally, one other capture spot. This one, it's a little bit hit or miss, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend it most of the time, but you can actually capture the flag as long as you go as far as possible to the right on the ladder. You can like peek your head up here just a little bit, and you can capture the flag from here. Now, you only have your gun up if you come up a certain amount there, but they just might not expect you there. Now, the next thing I wanted to share before we get into the actual lines of sight is this button here. You guys have probably seen this at some point. If you climb up to this area here, you're super exposed. If you hit this button, it will set off this V2 rocket. All of this stuff will be on fire, and it will kill anybody in there, including teammates. And also, anybody that's down all the way down low there will also get hurt by that. This lasts for 15 seconds, and it has a 1.5 minute cooldown time. So now I can't press that button again until that turns green, that flashing light, and that's going to be in 1.5 minutes from now. Alright, so let's get into the actual lines of sight themselves. So first up, let's have a look at this area here. Approaching the C flag if you're playing domination. A lot of times I would just like jump down here and I would try to attack people that are maybe taking C, or maybe they're coming off the spawn from over there and I'm trying to be aggressive on them. But if you just take a little bit of time to crouch and have a look right there, as you can see, that's most of the capture area of the C flag. You can easily pick somebody off through that crack right there. You can also look up top through here towards people that are coming out of those spawns there. And you can just do that as a check spot before you come around this corner. Or if you just happen to be in this area and somebody starts taking the C flag from you, you can easily just turn around and pick them off through there. I also wanted to point out that this does work the other way. If you suspect an enemy's camping up there, or you know an enemy is up on that little platform there, you can jump up here really easily, and you can just shoot through here and pick those guys off, no problem. Next up is a way from the C flag approaching towards the B flag here. A lot of the times, people will come to this barrel here, and they're looking for people up in that area there. That's really common for people to sit up there and try and lock you back into these C spawns, and they're basically just going to be pre-aiming this spot. So if you come here, you're dead before you can even react. What I like to do to approach that is actually back off a little bit where this little hill is on the edge of the map. You do have to make sure that you're safe from that area, but if you are, you can kind of strafe around this way and you can kind of head glitch over that little barrel there and pick those people off. They don't normally expect this. They're usually too focused on this area here. Also from this barrel right here, assuming you do have the middle of the map secure and your enemies are coming from that building right there, instead of challenging them right here or right here, which is exactly where they expect you to challenge them from, you can just hop up on this barrel right here, and there you go. Excellent piece of cover looking into that doorway. You can crouch to have complete cover from them, stand up, there you go. You also get a little bit of a line of sight over towards most of that window there, so if they're camping in that window, you can easily pick them off over there. Another kind of similar thing that is very situation dependent, if you happen to be battling a guy that's in that doorway there, and maybe it's like a 1v1 situation, or you're just pretty confident that there's nobody else that's going to shoot you in the side from over there or anything, you can actually hop up on this barrel right here and shoot back at him through there. So maybe you're right here, he's shooting at you in that doorway, you take a little bit of damage, you can take cover here, hop up, and finish your kill. Now, in this middle area right here, I just wanted to point out, if you do come up on this ladder, like I said, you're extremely exposed up here, so generally you don't want to be lingering here, but it is an excellent way of getting a line of sight on that window there that they often don't expect. You're completely exposed to them, but usually they're just not looking up this high. Also from up here, you can get a great line of sight over towards the A flag there, and if somebody's trying to take the A flag, you can pick them off through that area. Like I said though, really risky place to be, so I wouldn't necessarily be lingering up there. Now, if you're coming from the A flag to the B flag and you want to get up top there, this is fairly obvious. A lot of people already know this, but you can jump up here, jump up on that, and then from here you can jump into the second story. It's not quite as good as the other side where they just have to run up some stairs, but I just wanted to point out that you can do that for anybody that might have missed that. Also right in this area here, if you have enemies that are coming from the A flag, and let's just say you want to kind of pin them back in their A spawn, most of the time people would just stand right here, which is pretty much where they expect you to be. What you can also do is you can just jump up on this area right here, and you can kind of head glitch over. It just gives you a bit of an alternative, a little bit of a height advantage, and they don't usually expect you there. Instead, they expect you in this area down here. Now, as you're approaching this corner here, going towards the C area, most of the time you'll kind of like wrap around this barrel, you'll check these barrels, you'll check everything out here. You get a little bit of a line of sight in the doorway there, but you're kind of exposed when you do that. A great way to do this is first off, check to make sure nobody's like right here, otherwise you're going to be in big trouble. But if you mantle up here and strafe over to the left as far as possible, you actually get a nice clean line of sight into that doorway right there, and you can easily pick them off. Also, if you strafe a little more to the right here, you can see a little bit into that window. Not very much of that window, so it's very situation dependent. They have to be in that exact spot, but you can check that spot and maybe get a kill through there. Now, backing off a little bit towards the A flag, if you're approaching the B flag and maybe you have enemies taking it from you, or you just know there's an enemy trying to capture the B flag, or they just happen to be in that area if you're not even playing domination, instead of like coming up to this area here and trying to challenge them, you don't really have an angle, so you have to expose your whole body to get a line of sight on them. One thing you can do as you're coming off of these spawns here is hop up here and then stand up on top of the barrel right here. And from here, you can easily look over top there and pick those guys off. You have much better cover. If you need to, you can crouch or you can just strafe out of the way really easily. And they don't normally expect you to be looking over top like that. Now, getting into this building at the back of the A spawn here, a lot of times people will sit in this window and they'll be looking over towards that barrel there. That's pretty much a 50-50 gunfight, I feel. That's pretty fair, back and forth. You have pretty much equal amounts of cover, and it's not really your best bet. In my opinion, the better bet here is to come up right behind this thing here, and from the enemy's perspective, they pretty much can't see you at all, unless they're like aiming down sight with a sniper rifle. Most of the time, they won't catch you here, and that's just an easy kill on that guy on the barrel. So there we have it. That's going to wrap it up for all the spots that I have for you guys on the map V2. I'd like to know in the comment section below, which one of the DLC 2 maps would you like me to cover next? Also, if you guys are new to this series and haven't seen any of the previous maps, I will leave a link to the playlist down below. I've covered every single one of the other maps so far. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.